Good afternoon. My name is Paul Lipton. I am the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education here at the Woodrow Wilson School. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you, our graduates, and your families and friends to our first ever, and hopefully last, virtual class day ceremony. Our relatively brief program this afternoon will include remarks from the Acting Dean of the Woodrow Wilson School, Professor of Economics and Public Affairs, Mark Watson, Professor of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology and Public Affairs, David Wilcove, and an appearance from several faculty members who will present Woodrow Wilson School Senior Thesis Awards. Before I turn this over to Professor Watson, I will take this opportunity to be the first this afternoon to offer a warm congratulations to you, our graduates. It hasn't been an easy ending, but you all made it here, perhaps with a few bumps and bruises. You, the attendees, get to sit back and enjoy the moment. Your video and audio are automatically muted by our technology specialists and will remain so throughout the ceremony. We are recording this and will make it available on our Woodrow Wilson School website, alongside the student and faculty videos we sent previously. I now welcome Professor Mark Watson, who will deliver the Dean's Address.
Thank you, Dean Lipton. I'm Mark Watson, Acting Dean of the Woodrow Wilson School, and it's also my honor to welcome you to our virtual celebration of the class of 2020. I should start by saying when I am the acting dean here, and the acting bit, when I was induced to do this, I was told by our real dean, C.C. Rouse, that being acting dean would be kind of an easy gig. I think I'm trying to remember exactly what she said. She said something like, Mark, why don't you come over around March 1st and take over for the rest of the semester? Not much typically happens. You'll have to answer a few emails, hold a few meetings, maybe one or two students will be late with their thesis, but that's about it, right? And then, you get to put your robes on, right, and go to graduation, right, and you get to give some remarks at class day. Well, the robes and graduation thing didn't quite work out, right, but here we are on class day, and I'm happy to be here. In preparing these remarks, right, for this talk, I wanted to sort of think back to ancient history at a time when the campus was full of students, everyone was busy with classes, studying for exams, thinking about an upcoming break, enjoying one another's company. And then seemingly out of the blue, this threat came down on campus, and the president sent out a message to all of the students to leave immediately. Take what you can, he said, take what you can carry, but leave everything else behind. I know this sounds strikingly familiar, but actually I'm talking about a description I read of Princeton in November of 1776. The president's name wasn't Eisgruber, it was Witherspoon, and the threat wasn't COVID. Rather, it was 10,000 British troops marching down from New Brunswick. Your departure from Princeton in March 2020 was equally dramatic. Like your fellow Princetonians from 1776, you too left Princeton taking essentially only what you can carry, but when you got home, well, you had Zoom. So that meant you completed your classes, you finished your final exams, and you wrote some great senior theses. Princeton hasn't forgotten the students of 1776, and we will never forget the class of 2020. At this point, I guess it's fitting to take a moment and thank you, but thank those others that have helped you along the way. So first and foremost, right, let's give some thanks to your parents and your grandparents and your siblings and extended family and your friends who shared all of this with you. And of course, your teachers. And last, but certainly not least, we should thank the staff of our undergraduate program office. They guided you through your core requirements, assisted you with internship funding and placements, and most importantly, ensured you all found a senior thesis advisor. Not an easy task. The class of 2020 is 110 strong, and your ranks include members of Ivy League teams, class officers, thespians, residential college council members, PACE Center volunteers, and Orange Key tour guides. Your junior year policy task forces focused on important policy issues like maternal and child health, poverty in America, climate change, education policy in developing countries, and mass incarceration. Several of you had the enviable opportunity to study abroad at Oxford, Singapore, and Milan. You prepared senior theses on a number of wide-ranging topics, including combating human trafficking, the opioid crisis, and the Affordable Care Act. You drew from your training in quantitative and qualitative research methods, economics, politics, psychology, history, sociology, science, and other disciplines to produce some incredible original research. You left campus in March taking only what you could carry. This included important things like your phone, maybe your laptop, a spare pair of socks, but also things with a somewhat longer shelf life, a deep appreciation of service, an ability to think about public policy within a broad ethical framework, a capacity to think analytically and critically and to communicate effectively. All of these things will serve you well as you make your mark in the world. Congratulations, class of 2020. I wish you the very best. Now it's my honor to introduce Professor David Wilkove, the faculty chair of the undergraduate program. He has some prizes to award.
Thank you, Dean Watson, and good afternoon. Let me begin by offering my congratulations to the members of the class of 2020. They are justifiably proud family members and friends, and to the faculty and staff of the Woodrow Wilson School who have helped to make this happy occasion possible. Well, let's face it, this is not exactly the graduation ceremony any of us were anticipating at the start of the year, and truthfully, it's not the one our students deserve. So I will begin by making two promises to the Woodrow Wilson School class of 2020. First, if you come back next spring for the special graduation event the university has scheduled for you, we, the Woodrow Wilson School, will throw you a terrific party. And in doing so, we will live up to our school's ethos. We'll keep you hungry for knowledge, but we won't keep you hungry. Second, the disruption of this spring in no way diminishes the magnitude of what you've accomplished in the Woodrow Wilson School. So let me begin by listing the steps you had to take to arrive at this occasion. They included prerequisite courses in statistics, microeconomics, history, and politics, sociology, or psychology, 4 core courses in microeconomics, politics, science policy, psychology or sociology, and ethics, an additional language course, 4 electives, 1 policy task force, 1 policy research seminar with a statistics lab, and writing a senior thesis. Alas, this time without the communal dip in the fountain on what is invariably a very cold day. But if recent events have kept us apart physically, I hope they haven't diminished our connections to each other and to the Woodrow Wilson School. At the very least, it's given us all a chance to see inside each other's homes during Zoom precepts and classes. More seriously, I do think that you, the Woodrow Wilson School class of 2020, are better prepared than any other students on campus to understand the depth and breadth of this pandemic. Because, for better or worse, it touches upon almost everything we've talked about in all those courses I just listed. The interplay of science and public policy, the calculation of benefits and risks associated with different policy responses, the impacts of inequality on health and well-being, measuring uncertainty and incorporating it into public policy, the projection of economic and social impacts, demography, and even the question of statistical significance as it relates to medical tests. There may be other majors whose graduates know more about any one of these topics, but no one can bring them all together and put them into a policy context like you can. And that's good news because we will get through the pandemic, but there will be other crises and challenges that confront us in the years ahead. Many of them, like climate change, are very much with us now, even if our attention is not on them at the moment. And in a surprisingly short amount of time, you, the class of 2020, will be the ones in charge of solving them. Now, I very much hope that you will have lives that are rich and rewarding in terms of family, friendships, experiences, and accomplishments. But I also hope that a little of that sense of frustration, disappointment, and even anger that you must surely feel at the way current events have upended your final semester at Princeton and the lives of your friends and families will stick with you and will prompt you to double down in your commitment to the hard work of building a more just, compassionate, and sustainable world. And with that, let me turn to the pleasant task of presenting some awards. We will begin with the awards for senior theses in the Woodrow Wilson School, followed by awards for other achievements within the school. Let's begin with the Senior Thesis Awards. The senior thesis. Speaking to the class of 2020, I doubt any of you had ever before attempted to undertake a major original work of scholarship to formulate an important policy question that had never been answered or answered well, to search for evidence, to sift through and analyze that evidence, and to write up your findings in a compelling and rigorous way. And echoing Dean Watson's comments, notwithstanding the turmoil of this spring, your senior theses were as rigorous and original as any we've seen. And that's truly impressive. Congratulations to all of you. I will now introduce the thesis prizes, and they will be awarded by the recipient's senior thesis advisors. Our first prize is Lieutenant John A. Larkin Memorial Prize. It is awarded to the best thesis in the field of political economy. This year, the prize will be presented by Professor Sophie Munier. Professor Munier.
Thank you very much, Professor Wilkove. I'm delighted to present the Larkin Award to a thesis entitled Sweet and Sour Investment, a sentiment analysis of Chinese investment in Europe. This is a highly original analysis of the political perceptions of Chinese investment in the European Union. The thesis explores comparatively the political divisions of public opinion in France, Germany, and the Netherlands when it comes to the desirability of welcoming Chinese investment, for instance, in their technology companies, in infrastructure, and even in vineyards. The main contribution of this thesis has been the painstaking development of a new database of newspaper articles related to Chinese investment in Europe and the analysis of this data. The author put her statistics and machine learning studies to very good use, as well as her impressive knowledge of Dutch, French, and German, because the research was conducted in these languages. The winner of the prize is Lyric Perot. Lyric, it's been a true pleasure to meet you in your junior year. You've been a perfect thesis advisee, quick to grasp concepts, receptive to suggestions, and eager to finish the thesis by the original deadline. Thank you. I wish you all the best in law school next year, and I hope to celebrate your accomplishment in person when you return for reunions next year and for that delayed in-person graduation. My warmest congratulations to Lyric.
Thank you so much for this award, and thank you so much for your kind words, Professor. I'm very grateful for all of the guidance I've received over the last 4 years from professors, family, and friends. So thank you so much.
Congratulations, Lyric. Our next prize is the Woodrow Wilson Prize, which is awarded to a thesis of unusual merit. And we have 2 winners this year. The first Woodrow Wilson Prize will be presented by Professor Julian Zelizer. Professor Zelizer.
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate the co-winner of the award, Nathan Levitt, for his wonderful thesis, The Politics of Poverty, a case study analysis of interest groups in conservative state legislatures. This was really a superb thesis to work on. It looks at how progressive interest groups have been able to achieve progress in red states as they push back against efforts to dismantle the social safety net. It's a very well-written and analytically sophisticated piece of work. It blends qualitative and quantitative data and offers astute recommendations based on his research in Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kansas, and Mississippi, and really offers us a roadmap into understanding how this works. While there's a lot of literature on how conservatives have been able to retrench social policies, even if they can't dismantle them, this is one of the first pieces of work I've read on how progressives have fought back against the retrenchment. And given the current state of politics, where there will be budget cuts for many years to come, I think this is extremely important. Nathan shows us how interest groups that have better local connections, interest groups that can focus on singular issues, how they have been much more successful than others. This is the kind of thesis policymakers should read. It's a work that's notable for the breadth of the analysis, the detail about how state politics works, and the observation about the messy world of interest group politics. Nathan is a model of what the class of 2020 is all about. He is a true testament to what Princeton University can offer. Nathan fled campus like all of the class of 2020, grabbing what he could as if a tornado was coming. And sometimes young people in times of crisis are asked to serve in the military. They're asked to live with rations and price controls. This time, what we asked of Nathan and all of you was to social distance, was to lose experiences, put your lives on hold, and live apart from each other. And like his classmates, Nathan did this extremely well. And he worked with poise, determination, and immense focus on completing this work on a first-rate basis. For this, Nathan, and all the class of 2020, I really commend you. Let me just end by saying all classes at Princeton are special, but boy, the class of 2020 is one we won't forget. You showed us that the life of the mind, which is the core of Princeton University, when all is said and done, is stronger than any pandemic will ever be. So congratulations, Nathan, for a wonderful thesis.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Zelizer. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, both the kind words and really your tremendous support you provided me throughout the thesis process over the last 12 months. It was a deeply rewarding experience working with you and working on these issues I think are all the more critical and relevant today. Your work as a public intellectual, with an emphasis on the public as your theater, it really inspired me to enter your classroom freshman spring and continues to inspire me today. So thank you very much to the Wilson School, to my classmates, my friends and family that are on.
Congratulations, Nathan. The second Woodrow Wilson Prize will be presented by Professor Stanley Katz. Professor Katz.
Thank you, David. It's a real pleasure to be able to present this prize to Grace Bayless. The prize is a testament to the analytical power of an undergraduate education in the Woodrow Wilson School. You have studied a very unpleasant and yet very urgent problem of public policy, sex trafficking. I so admire your care in identifying the nature and contours of the problem, especially in untangling the very different practices of trafficking and prostitution. Early in our thesis discussions, you understood that your proposed focus on trafficking in the United Kingdom was too narrow. And so you crossed the channel to compare trafficking in the Netherlands. Along the way, you have avoided the usual naive moralism of discussions of trafficking. You have displayed a deep understanding of the multifaceted role of sex workers, and you have suggested realistic new directions for national sex trafficking policy in more than 2 countries. Like your classmates, you rose to the challenge of completing a senior thesis, a very difficult senior thesis, after having been required to leave campus. But you never let up in your determination to write the very best thesis you could. The results are the product of both inspiration and perspiration. This thesis is the product of courage, hard work, and a really fine intelligence. These are the qualities that made you the finest goalie in field hockey. Much more important, they are a combination that is going to carry you a very long way in life. I'm so grateful that you have taken me along for the ride, Grace. This year has been fun, and it's been a very satisfying learning experience for me as well. As I think you know, I was a graduate student in London, and I'm thrilled to be able to return the favor by working with such a fine and accomplished English student. Bravo, Grace.
Thank you so much, Professor Katz, and thank you so much for this award. It's such an honor, but I truly want to thank you, Professor, for helping me achieve this and always just being so supportive and caring. I could not have asked for a better thesis advisor, and I'm so grateful that we got to work together this year and look forward to keeping in touch in the future. Thanks to my family and friends also that are watching today. And finally, thanks to Jess Deutsch who connected us. Thanks, everyone.
Congratulations, Grace. Our third thesis prize is the Myron T. Herrick Prize, which is awarded annually to the writer of the best senior thesis in the school. This year, the Herrick Prize will be presented by Professor Heather Howard. Professor Howard.
Thank you. And I am delighted to award the Herrick Prize to Morgan Steelman for her outstanding thesis, which explores the impact of President Trump's immigration policies and rhetoric on pregnancy outcomes for Latina immigrants. This thesis is everything a senior thesis should be. It employs rigorous research methods, offers truly meaningful contributions to scholarship on the issue, and has very timely policy implications. Morgan used restricted CDC birth certificate data from New Jersey, California, and Texas, and employed a difference in difference approach. She found that after President Trump's election, Latinas reported fewer prenatal care visits and experienced higher rates of preterm birth. And she noted some important differences among the states, perhaps reflecting the value of state policy in mitigating federal policy. This is the first piece to test this question, and it's really worthy of publication in the leading health policy journals, and I'm going to encourage Morgan to pursue publication. Morgan, you really should be commended for tackling such a complex and pressing topic at that thorny intersection of health policy and immigration. Your innovative research approach adds significantly to our understanding of the health risks that pregnant Latina immigrants face, and you offer really concrete policy suggestions to mitigate those risks. We can only hope that policymakers would heed your findings. Morgan, congratulations on such an impressive work. It has been a pleasure to advise your thesis, but our relationship goes further back. I got to work with you in the junior task force, and then you served as a fabulous senior commissioner. You are a superstar in every way, in the classroom, on campus, and on the squash court. I will miss our weekly meetings, but I look forward to seeing all that you accomplish. Bravo.
Thank you so much for this incredible honor. I would first like to thank Professor Howard. The title thesis advisor really doesn't do justice to your role as my academic, professional, and personal mentor over the past 2 years. Thank you so much for supporting me in all of my pursuits, especially this one. I also owe endless gratitude to Professor Armstrong and the many other Princeton professors who have invested in my academic development. This thesis really was the culmination of the many lessons I've learned from all of you. And lastly, I'd like to thank my family for their unwavering love and support, and my peers for continuously inspiring me to make this world a better place. I am truly honored and humbled by this recognition.
Congratulations, Morgan. And I want to thank the professors and offer my congratulations to our thesis award recipients and to all of our students. I will now turn the microphone over to Dr. Paul Lipton, our Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education, who will present awards for other achievements in the Woodrow Wilson School. Dean Lipton.
Thank you, Professor Wilkove. And again, congratulations to our thesis prize winners. As Professor Wilkove mentioned, there are a few more students and their achievements that we want to recognize. First up is the Gail F. Johnson Prize in Public Affairs, and is awarded to the senior who has shown both great improvement and achieved excellence in work in the Woodrow Wilson School. This year's awardee is Grace Bayless.
Thank you, Dean Lipton. I've truly enjoyed my experience in the Woodrow Wilson School. It's challenged me in all the best ways and given me a wonderful foundation that I know will serve me very well, along with some very special relationships. Thank you again to all my friends and family, my mum, dad, and my Aunt Lizzie watching today for all their unwavering support through this experience. I'm honoured to receive this award that acknowledges my growth and grateful for all the opportunities that the Woodrow Wilson School has provided. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Grace. The second award is the Class of 1924 Award, which was established to recognize the senior whose contribution to a policy task force has been judged outstanding. This year's awardee is currently up at 2:27 a.m., and it is Jason Wee.
Thank you, Dean Lipton. I'm really grateful to Woody Woo for the incredible opportunity to engage as a senior commissioner in task force, which is such a unique opportunity in the undergraduate program. I can't thank Professor Carol Martin enough for the amazing support and mentorship for the past 2 years, as well as my parents and family members for cheering me on throughout this Princeton journey. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Jason. Third, we have the Donald E. Stokes Dean's Prize, which is awarded to seniors who have displayed extraordinary leadership and made the most significant contributions to the undergraduate program and to the Woodrow Wilson School. This year, we recognize 2 individuals. Our first awardee is Olivia Ott.
Thank you, Dean Lipton. I'm incredibly grateful and humbled to receive this award and would like to thank the Woodrow Wilson School and its affiliated staff and faculty for the invaluable learning and personal growth opportunities that they've provided over the past few years. It's been a true privilege to be part of the Wilson School, and I could not have found a better departmental home at Princeton. Thank you to all for everything, and I look forward to seeing everybody on campus in May of 2021.
Thank you, Olivia. So do we. The second is Alex Essig.
Thank you, Dean Lipton. I feel really honored to be receiving this prize alongside Olivia. Thank you to my family, friends, classmates, professors, and the Woodrow Wilson School for providing constant support over the past 4 years. This school has afforded me many unique experiences, and I will always treasure my time as a student here.
Congratulations to both of you. For the past 2 years, the faculty and staff of the Woodrow Wilson School have benefited from the guidance of 7 seniors who have served as members of our Student Advisory Committee, and I just want to thank them now. Jackson Caputo, Alex Essig, Kuti Fall, Jeanette Liu, Olivia Ott, Lyric Perot, and Anne-Marie Wright. Thank you, all 7 of you, for the last 2 years of service. I now want to thank a few individuals on whom our operation depends during the best of times and under normal circumstances. Their dedication and attention to our students' needs these last few months have been that much more crucial. First are our librarians, who every year offer guidance in any number of different ways to students working on their junior papers and senior theses. A very special thank you to Elena Brock, Ophira Schwartz-Seuter, Joanne Donatello, and Seth Porter. And a thank you to our writing instructor, Steve Fracht. And to echo Dean Watson's comments earlier, I want to thank again and sincerely our extraordinary team in the undergraduate program office. Monica Vasile, who has kept track of each and every one of you these last 2 years and who put this ceremony together. Jan Birch, who made sure you all had classes to take and that your grades were recorded. And Georgette Harrison, who made sure the 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle of senior theses and second readers got assembled. They, of course, do so much more, quietly but instrumentally, to facilitate your progress inside and outside of the classroom, contributing to your success and arrival here today. So thank you to them. I also want to pay tribute to Shirley Tillman, who is retiring this year. Shirley joined the Princeton faculty in 1986 as a professor of molecular biology and public affairs, and from 2001 to 2013 served as Princeton's 19th president. She has advised several Woodrow Wilson School senior theses, taught a very popular science policy seminar, and has been mentor and role model to many in the Princeton University community and to many more well beyond our gates. She leaves us to co-chair the New Jersey Governor's Restart and Recovery Commission. And finally, to our graduates. When you first arrived at Princeton 4 years ago, your admission was granted based on promise. It's difficult to argue that at 17 or 18 years old, one has earned a spot at a university. 4 years later, you have earned your spot as a Princeton graduate. Alongside your degree, I hope that we're sending you off with empathy and compassion and a set of intellectual recipes that have prepared you for the unexpected. Thank you for welcoming us into your homes these last few months. And it has been an absolute pleasure getting to know some of you and to work on your collective behalf. I arrived here in central New Jersey almost a year ago and have been deeply impressed by your graciousness and poise and your dedication and commitment to the spirit of Princeton and the Woodrow Wilson School. Everyone at home, please raise a glass. And on behalf of everybody here at the Woodrow Wilson School, I congratulate our class of 2020. Enjoy your summer, be safe, and be well. This concludes our ceremony.
Congratulations.
Congratulations again, students.